Hello, and welcome to Redefining the Significance of You Time for You, by You, because of you. My name is Denise Drinkwalter, and I'm an empowerment life coach supporting women around the world to lean in and realize the importance of you. The goal of this channel is to provide you, the viewer, some takeaways that will help you shift, change, reevaluate, and or become way more aware of what is possible for you. We have a variety of guests who will be sharing their life experiences that have helped them become the incredible human beings that they are today. And I am so excited to introduce our guest in a few minutes. Every one of us, sometime in our lives, when we've had that infamous feeling guilty, embarrassed, and or wrong for taking out time for ourselves, we are here to help you change that and see what is possible for you when you take time for you, by you, because of you. Welcome to our show. Today we have Jola Cruise. She is a relationship coach who has experienced some challenging times in her relationship with her husband. 5 years ago, she saved her marriage and knew the power of building a relationship and went on to become a certified relationship coach and now supports women with the same skills that she has built to save her life. Jola uses her learning on a daily basis and sees the impact it has made not only in her life, but in her clients' lives as well. She has been coaching for over a year and has personally supported over 40 women and knows that these strategies that she shares have helped over 15,000 women save their marriages single-handedly. The skills that she uses have been proven over time, over 20 years actually, and she helps women fix marriages and also helps and works with single women, helping them break the cycle of the bad dates and helping them prepare with a major mind shift. She helps women make relationships easy, not hard. Welcome to our show today, Jola.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So, oh my goodness, you have to tell us more in terms of 5 years ago. What was going down? What happened? How did you land on this powerful coaching forum that you're using?
It was a powerful journey indeed, and painful to start. Painful to start. I come from a broken family. My grandparents didn't get along. I didn't have any good role models around me, like zero. My husband, on the other hand, came from a very nice family. So, about 5 years ago, I've been married for 18 years now, and for the first, I'd say, 10 years or so, we were actually, at first we were not fighting because I was doing everything to please and to do everything for them. Then for the next number of years, we started fighting a lot. We started fighting almost every single day. We were working together. That did not help. And then, as if things were not bad enough, we decided to have kids to fix the marriage. So if anybody ever thinks that getting kids to fix a marriage is going to work, well, not so much. Although I'm glad we did, because eventually it worked. So about 5 years ago, we were fighting with my husband in the kitchen for like the 100th time. And we had 3 kids, and they were between the ages of 3 to 6. And at that time, when we were fighting, my oldest, Joey, he came in between us, and he stood in the kitchen, and he just kind of looked up at us, and he said, like, guys, just stop fighting. And just shivers went down my spine. And I literally kind of looked down at him, and I thought, like, oh my gosh, what is the example I'm setting to my child, to my kids who are like playing around? Like, what house am I raising them in? That's how I grew up to begin with. And I'm like, that's not what I want. And when the shift happens internally, things just started falling into place. The next day I could talk to my life coach. I had a life coach, but life coaching wasn't working for me because she was just setting goals. And setting goals while you're drowning It doesn't really do. Like, for example, if you're drowning underwater and somebody kind of tells you, hey, how much money do you want to make next year? You're like, it doesn't matter. So first I had to save myself. But the biggest gift she gave me, my life coach, was that she gave me a book to Laura Doyle's book. And she said that was the Surrendered Wife at the time. Now it's called Empowered Wife. And then I started reading it. I started shifting, and I got enrolled into the program right away. I just knew that that's going to be my saving grace. And I read the book. Actually, I inhaled it over a weekend, and I went to a recovery retreat, kind of not a recovery retreat, to a retreat, energy retreat. And at that time, everything shifted for me. Like, my feminine energy woke up. I knew what to do. I came back. I made all the changes. 2 days later, my husband asked, so what do I need to change? Like, what do I need to fix about myself? Because we're looking for counselors, we're looking for coaches. We both knew we had problems. And I just looked at him and said, nothing. I was like, what do you mean? Like, nothing. I got this. I was like, what? I'm like, I got this. And I did. It took a little while, but I did. And now we're happier than ever. It's just completely different life. And that's what I want for other women too.
So when you jumped in and got, did the book and like, I love how you said, I inhaled it on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that the clients you work with have to hit, and I'm not going to say rock bottom, but have to hit something really hard in order for them to reach out and work with you? Is that what you're finding? Or what are you finding in terms of people reaching out saying, how do I do this?
Yeah, I love that question. So it's twofold. The ones who come to my workshop, many times they are the ones who are like, I just want to make it better. I just want to make it better. I just need some skills. They've been married for 25 years, 37 years, and they're doing pretty well, but they know something is just not jiving. So they would reach out to me and they'll come to my talk, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I love those strategies. I need to learn more. And then they go off and they are just happy as can be because they're improving what they already have going on right. The ones who come for one-on-one coaching, those are usually the ones who hit the rock bottom. There's my last straw. If I can't get this done, then I'm just out. I don't know what to do. And those are the most motivated too. And so it works beautifully because I can offer both. That's how I don't have to put everybody into one or the other.
Nice. So if people are more comfortable with, and do you suggest which platform they're better in, with a one-on-one or a group program, or based on what you're seeing?
Yeah. And even the ones who come for one-on-one, I still put them into the workshop because as a part of the coaching, because it's just so powerful, just learning the skills with other women, supporting each other. It just helps to put those the skills into your body. It becomes a second nature.
So you mentioned about, your husband saying, well, what do I need to do? And you're like, nothing. And I'm curious to know, because all my experiences are relationships are give and take, and everybody's got a piece of the pie to make it work and make it flow. Can you help me understand? Nope, you're good. Just leave it with me. Help me to understand that aspect. Because when I think relationship, I think we need to meet in the middle. We need to create the plan of action, right? Help me to understand.
Yeah. So for me, the best way to explain it is when I came to the United States, I spoke Polish and I spoke some English. My husband to this day does not speak Polish. However, I speak English, so we can communicate. The same way works with the skills. If one person, especially the female, the woman who has more emotional, most of the time, more emotional intelligence, if she can communicate with the man in the way that he would understand what she needs and help fulfill his desires, his needs, then he knows how to do it back for her. So I rarely ever, if ever, talk to the man in the coaching. I've recently started to, but it's more for life coaching, not relationship coaching. So the woman single-handedly can shift the entire marriage. She really can. That's how powerful we are. And in the beginning, I always get this question, how come I have to do all the work? And it's totally reasonable to ask that question because why, right? But on the other hand, it's so powerful because if I create a situation, then I know I can uncreate it and I can make it so much better. So I have all the power.
I love what you're saying because a lot of the times when I'm speaking, I talk about there's only one person we can control, and that's ourselves. So when we become empowered and when we change our energy, it's exactly what happens with my clients. As I change my energy, the people around me change, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how it works. We can only control what's in between those two ears, like what's in here. And everything else, the reality changes around us when we change, for sure.
Powerful, powerful. What is one thing that you could share with us in terms of a transformation that has happened in your work with a client? Share with us something that uh, keeps you in awe even today.
Oh gosh. So I had this couple, actually couple with a woman, especially because the woman was coaching with me. And they're over the 60s, right? And
Yep.
physical intimacy doesn't seem necessary, that for some people necessary at that age. But what happened was this couple they were married for 18 years and they were intimate for the first 3 years. Then he got sick and then they stopped having intimacy altogether for the next 15 years. And then I started coaching with the woman and she started learning how to receive, how to be more pleasable, how to control us. And imagine that within the shift happened with a kind of like more a little bit some energy healing as well, of some shifts. And it was just magical how it happened. But within a few weeks, he started getting. So that was she was coaching me for a few months, but then the shifts started happening really quickly because he started buying her gifts, and she started being really pleasable and really grateful. And then he started kind of coming around and actually wanting to have intimacy. And she was just so shocked because they haven't had it for 15 years, not even like holding hands and things like that. And it just woke up and she asked him, like, what about your health? I was like, oh, I'll figure it out. So for all those 15 years, he didn't want to even try to figure out how to work around his, health issues.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I'll just call the doctor. I'll figure it out. So when you want it, you want it. But it's the respect came back, all the receiving. She just changed who she was. I'd not ever seen, I mean, I never worked with this guy.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So after 15
It
years of no intimacy,
shows the power, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
It's internal shift. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that. Is there anything else that's coming to your mind if I have somebody in the audience who watches the replay and says, well, I think I've got relationship problems. I'm not sure if I do. Is this something that I should contact Yola for? Like, I don't know. Is there anything that you can share with the audience that will help them understand the type and style of client that you work with? Is
Absolutely. So when I did my talk last Saturday, it was actually really eye-opening for everyone because I talked about control and women who have been married for years in very happy marriages, women who've been single, and women who've been in struggling marriages going through divorce, they all could relate because the information that I teach, it applies all across the board. It's all about staying on your own paper, staying on, which means basically controlling only the things that belong to me and not controlling your man. We try as women, we try to control them so much that we suffocate them and then we cause them to stop doing things because they're so afraid to be criticized. And we do it, it's just for whatever reason, we just do it. And I teach them how not to do it and I find all the little things, how they actually do it, how they create it, how they ask the questions. For example, hey, are you going to wear this? Oh, that's not how you load the dishwasher. All those little things chip away from the man's soul. And we don't know. We think we're doing the right thing. That's the biggest pitfall of this is we think we're doing the right thing. We are working really hard. And it's just the lack of information that's causing all those problems. Because when we go to learn how to drive a car, we have to go and learn how to drive a car.
yeah,
But how often do people learn how to be in a relationship, how to be in a marriage?
absolutely.
Yeah. So this is like
Absolutely.
a driving school. It's
So,
a driving school for marriage or for relationships.
right. I love it. The
Yeah.
driving school for relationships. Yes. I love that. Yeah, there's no training on relationship building, is there? There
Yeah.
is
No,
now.
there is now. Yeah, there is now. I mean, there are resources, but it's not so prevalent. Like out of the women who are sitting there in the audience, none of them has ever heard what I was teaching. So it's so clear that it's so necessary to spread the knowledge. And I just always tell women, like, when you come to the workshop, bring your friends. Because when you do those skills together, then you grow together as friends, and then you spread it out to your family, and it's like a wave. It's a ripple effect. I'm here to change communities. I'm not here to change the life of one person. I'm here to change the communities, to teach women that they can be free within the relationship. See, most women think that they are in prison. A lot of them. That's why we have so many divorces, because they think they're in prison, especially as they hit about 50s, they really question their relationships. So either they question when they have little kids or later on in the transitions. And the reason for that is that they feel like they're suffocated. They're suffocated. They cannot be themselves. They cannot express themselves because they are with this person who's controlling their life. But in reality, that's not how it is. They put that prison onto themselves. So I teach them how to break away from the prison within the relationship, be truly authentically them, blossom, and have the man who is supporting them and loving them, and not having to go and look elsewhere for somebody else because they're already what they want. It's there. And if she doesn't change, that's the pitfall. The divorce rate for first-time marriages, it's 50%. For second-time marriages, it's 75%. And for the third-time marriages, it's 85%. So if you don't fix it after the first marriage, you're going to carry over the same mistakes to the second one. It's just the name changes, and then the third and fourth and fifth. So whether you're single, you're divorced, you're married, it doesn't matter. If you learn those skills, your future of your relationships is going to shift with not only with your man, but also with yourself and all your family members, your friends.
I love what you're saying there, because that's what we're talking about. Taking time for you, by you, because of you. And when you start to build the relationship with yourself, everything else goes into line, right? Everything else falls into place. Yeah.
And I love what you're teaching. I love what you're teaching with the self-care, because that's like one of the first skills I teach with women. And they are so resistant sometimes. So resistant out of guilt, out of just like, oh, I can't, I have to. Our society trained us in some way to just keep giving. And that's, I think, a lot comes from our conditioning from years over years, that you are a good person if you just keep giving. But how much can you give from empty? Then the resentment comes, the pleasing comes, and we're empty and depleted and angry, and we just want to quit it and just be on our own. But all it takes is the shift of mentality, taking care of yourself within the marriage, putting yourself first within the marriage without being mean or angry or just, that's enough, it's my time. It doesn't have to be that way. It could be just like, okay, now it's time for me. I would love to go for a walk.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
It's
and
very
it
simple.
doesn't, exactly. It's simple, and it doesn't have to be a burden. As a matter of fact, when we flip this whole concept of what you're talking about, right? I feel guilty, so no, everybody else first, but there's nothing left for you. When you create that infamous to-do list, it's all about running the kids everywhere, making sure they have everything in place, and we put ourselves last. I'm so grateful that your son looked up and said, just stop. There's a reason why he was put in your path at the time he was put in your path. I'm so grateful that you are doing the work you are doing. We need to get this out far and wide. How can people connect with you? And we will put all of this in our show notes. But what's the best way for people to connect with you?
So I have my Facebook group. I'm on Facebook as Jola Cruise. You can just look me up. There's a lot of content, but there's also a group which is called Love Made Easy. Because I'm all about creating love and relationships easy. They don't have to be hard. And if anyone would like to schedule a call, half an hour to just truly bring one problem. We'll tackle it within half an hour. We'll create some vision, create a little mini plan for you. And you can just actually go off and just use it immediately. That's how fast it works. So I have people shifting right away. Within one session, they can already make so many changes that is unbelievable. It can just help you pull you out of that unknown into like, oh, I know what to do now. Because the biggest thing people have relationships, like, I just don't know what to do. Like, I've tried everything. I've tried 15 different ways to ask him to take the trash out, and he's still not taking it out. Just because you don't know how to ask. Because nobody taught you how to ask. But if you learn, it's like, it's just super simple.
Amazing. We will have all of that contact information in our show notes. It has been an absolute honor and a privilege to have this conversation. We could go on and on and on. You've got so much knowledge, experience, and I can feel your warmth. So thank you for bringing this to the masses. Let's get you out there far and wide and help people change. As they change, that ripple effect gets bigger and bigger, and I can't imagine the impact we could have worldwide with this type of work. So thank you for being here. It's a privilege to have you on today.
Thank you, Denise. It's been absolutely pleasure being here and talking with you. Thank you so much for having me on. I just truly love what I do, and I'm hoping to spread that, to share
You
that
can
beautiful knowledge.
exactly, you can feel that. You can feel that. You are so in alignment with the work that you do. So reach out to Yola, make sure that you connect with her, and she's got an opportunity to help you create a mini plan where you are stuck right now and show you what is truly possible, because you can change, and you can change single-handedly. I love that. The power within.
Yes,
I
beautiful.
love that. Thank you for joining us today. And if you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure you click subscribe, because every week we have very informative conversations with beautiful guests just like Yola. Also, I have a weekly newsletter. If you want to sign up and register for that, there's lots of tips and strategies that come out to you every week. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So thank you for joining us, and feel free to reach out to Yola in the show notes. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.